Welcome back, everybody. Today is another episode of our educational Smurf series, and I'd like to say that today's game is going to be a 6K average game, so I'm trying to stack a little bit of a disadvantage, making these games harder and harder for me to win. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. So I was going to pick DK for my hero, but my mid laner wanted DK, and the idea of what I wanted to pick today was a very straightforward offlaner. A hero that would do its job in the game in a way that I can explain it to you very simply, and it wouldn't really require you to be an offlane player in order to do this. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I've had an awful lot of coaching students as well as people in my stream ask me what to do during role queue games. So this is an example of a role that I don't think very many of you main, and if you ever get stuck playing in role queue, you're probably lackluster. So focusing on basic fundamentals, a off-lane hero and what they're supposed to do is really important. That's what we're going to be doing today. So I am in lane against Ursa. Definitely a bad matchup for Abaddon. Pretty much any melee offlaner without a stun really hates laning against Ursa. So I'm going to tell my guy to... I'm thinking about whether or not I want him to drag the second wave. I go Windlace because I want to make sure I don't get hit by Ursa and let him stack up his Fury swipes. As you can see, this is a 6K average approximately on both sides. I am trying to cover all brackets, and I am slowly but surely raising the bar for how difficult it should be to win the game. And right now, at the 6K bracket, they have a 200 average MMR advantage over my teammates. So we're going to see exactly how this plays out today. So we are going to go Radiance, but from there, depending on how good our start is, we may end up going, more items to counter the Ursa or the Storm, something like a Yule's. Now that sounds pretty absurd, but it might be what we have to do. So I picked Abaddon because the 5-position hero that I saw was Crystal Maiden, and her Frostbite is an ability that can be removed by a Photic Shield. So if I ever have a hero that can just simply counter the 5-position that I see, that is the ideal play. So I won't be talking as much during this game because I am in a 6K game, so it's going to take a decent amount of concentration. But the whole idea of the laning stage is to get the lane right back here. That means that we should be safe to farm and not be taking negative trades with Ursa. So we accomplish that generally by dragging the wave, by drawing aggro to our range creep, what have you. So everything I'm doing in the lane is to make the lane go to here. The only time I don't do that is if I'm in an incredibly favored matchup where I can be really strong level 1. So immediately creep aggroing. Watch out for the nuke from Crystal Maiden. So this is what I do to get the lane back. Make sure my Mirana doesn't take the aggro. And now we've got the lane in front of our tower. Do a little cutesy aggro trick where we get the lane, or drag it to our range. Sadly, the melee creeps are pretty low, so we won't be able to get the range creep deny here.
No way.
But the lane's right where we want it to be now. So we didn't pick something that synergizes with our 4, so overall our lane's pretty weak. And that's important to keep in mind. We picked a hero for the game, for our own hero to have a game, rather than playing for the lane. We're doing the same thing, a little bit of global aggro trick. Something if we can get our own range creep denied, it's pretty sick. We pulled it off this time. They weren't in range, so I wasn't as concerned about the deny. I'm actually just going to go straight Meteor Hammer because the lane's going pretty well. Using abilities to secure range. Thought I'd do enough damage there. Pretty passive lane on both sides. Seems like both teams are kind of playing scared. So I'm trying to zone the Crystal Maiden a little bit. Since he only half pulled, I'm gonna run down the Crystal Maiden. I have shield for his Frostbite. He actually has to TP out here if he wants to live. Unless I miss my attack. I was okay with that because I wasn't missing any creeps that whole time. So I was keeping an eye out on the wave. Even if you guys didn't see it, I was looking consistently at the wave to see what it was doing. If I had saw that I was missing a ton of creeps, I would have considered turning around there and not chasing so far. And that's why it's nice to be able to counter the 5 position, right? In this case, my hero counters the 5 nicely, as you saw. So we want to keep this creep alive longer than Ursa keeps his creep alive. That'll help keep the lane in front of our tower. We do a little aggro trick. Keeps the lane here. And the block so our range creep starts taking damage. And I'm just getting a little bit of harass now because we have the Ring of Health, so I can afford to take a little bit of damage. The lane's going pretty chill so far. And like I said, we are going Meteor Hammer because we're winning. If I was having a rough start, I would not go Meteor Hammer here. Mirana's not here, so we're playing pretty defensive. We're not going to use our shield unless Ursa also goes on us, like there. So in this case, the CM alone kind of was baiting us to use our shield. And we didn't want to get baited. We are kind of low on mana. Gotta be careful because we don't have mana for shield right now. It's important to keep in mind that even though we're like doing really well in lane, that our hero does not match up well against Ursa. So we're not going to like play hyper aggressive. We're going to focus on messing with the CM, which is enabling our support to pull. So since he got the pull off, but it's not going to like kill any meaningful creeps, we're actually just going to try to kill the creep right now. Okay, so CM might see this area. So like I said, we don't want to fuck with Ursa. This guy's strong. He's pretty good against our hero. So all these pulls are just meant to like prevent... Sometimes you can use pulls in order to make them fight you. In this case, we're making it so they can't really fight us because we want to avoid fighting them. I don't have any shield mana. So there's a lot of lanes like this where if you just outplay them when in regards to like pulls and stuff, you can absolutely win the lane despite being in an unfavorable matchup. When I say win the lane, I'm level 5, he's level 4. I consider that a win. So we don't have a TP, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. So it looks like Storm is 6. I was actually gonna TP out right there, and I just remember telling you guys I don't have a TP. I'm gonna make them chase me a little bit. Unfortunate. If I had had a TP there, I would have been fine. I was trying to play safe, and I honestly thought they wouldn't be able to kill me there. But it is the nature of a kind of mediocre matchup. I'm actually going to go mid, because this matchup is not that great for me, and I have a Meteor Hammer. So, if I feel like my matchup's not that great for me, and I see an opportunity to do anything else, I will. So this is just trying to create a little bit of pressure on the map. Of course, we got Rubik here, which I did not expect. This is a little bit forced. It's not forced, but I didn't expect Rubik to come. So I'll call that space for Clinks. He's level 5 against the DP. He's level 5. He's now level 6. So it's not ideal that we die there, right? But I'm also, like, okay with it. We're going to go Raindrops because we're against a lot of magic nukers. Our game got a little awkward here. And this is kind of what happens when your hero doesn't scale naturally against the core that you're laning against. So I don't particularly mind what's happening because I got my item. I want to keep pressuring. And my Mirana can farm top pretty decently because Ursa can't really kill Mirana very well. So we're going to keep letting our support get a lot of XP. I'm going to be ready to go to other lanes. I'm going to keep pressuring with this DK. He should be checking room, but he's not. Didn't get rune either. We're just pressuring. We're just forcing some reactions. While Mirana's getting all the farm top. All good. We're strong. That's the point of playing core. This DK clearly doesn't know our strength here. In your pubs, people might ping you for this kind of stuff. So we're forcing 3 heroes here. And that's okay with us, to be honest. I'm now going to walk top because our DK's form is ending. But he doesn't particularly want us here anymore. But our Mirana got pretty fat off this. He's level 5. We're actually going to just stack a camp, keep letting him do this. We're just trying to maximize efficiency on the map. And since we don't like our lane, we're kind of willing to be more fluid with the way we move. Like, we don't want to just sit in one place. It's a nice item. Okay, so we got a nice little stack. So this isn't exactly how I want to use the Meteor Hammer, but I'm not like upset about it, you know? Because I did create a lot of pressure mid in a game where I'm countered in my lane, and we were also being efficient on the map in the meantime. There's a fight going on bottom. I'm actually going to Meteor Hammer this wave and then TP mid if this fight continues. So this is why we don't generally want to lane top. So I'm going to run back mid because of Rune is spawning. Our DK isn't playing for runes at all, which is kind of annoying against Storm. Unfortunate. Tried to chain a stun, but it didn't work. So we're holding the skill point for our ult because we want to activate it like when we choose to rather than whatever. We're gonna run to this fight because it looks like some shit's going down over here. But I feel like my DK is playing relatively passive, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of, but that's okay. As you can see, we don't really do much to Ursa. In this case, we're just going to defend our tower. We really want to take mid tower since we have 2 Meteor Hammers, but they're kind of just not letting us. Clinks is pretty farmed, it looks like. We're coming mid again. I'm going to buy some phase boots to move around the map a bit quicker. So we got mid tower, which is nice. Going to make sure that we get the rune. And we're going to TP bottom in front of these guys. So we did this because we're really strong against anybody that's not Ursa. So this is just trying to make it so they can't take our tower for free. Ursa's here, so we gotta be careful. Just gotta kite the Ursa and the DP. And we kited them very well. And this is all forced by us, this fight, because they were trying to take a tower and we TP'd to defend it. Okay. So, very nice engagement for us. So usually I only make plays on this tower if it's going to, if it starts with us defending our own tower. It's a little bit more 5-manning than you might see in a pub. People aren't really communicating though, so it's just kind of happening. I feel like if you force fights that matter, your teammates will show up. They don't have Exo, so I'm gonna do this. Just trying to be annoying. So I activated my ulti so they couldn't be able to chase me. Because the Rubik Lift will throw me back in. This is a circumstance where I was just trying to stall, and my teammates clearly wanted to help me. And so that's why I communicated I don't want to do that. You really don't have the best ways of dealing with Ursa. So, there's really not much we can do. Our DK is our primary initiator, but he's not going Blink, which means we don't have playmaking potential for a very long time. So if you don't have playmaking potential, and you don't counter the guy in lane, then you kind of end up defending your safe lane tower a lot more than you normally would. It's really hard to TP into that guy when he's already got Exo going. So our guy just went and fed Ursa, which is not good. So it's definitely going to be a tough game, because we have no way of really dealing with Ursa, and our teammates aren't pressuring. Our only way to get this Ursa out of here is to bring like 4 heroes, so that's what I want my team to do. But I also don't want to give them mid tower, so. So this game's getting really awkward because I can't solo make plays, and to be honest, my team's kind of playing the map poorly. So what that means is that we just try our best to defend relevant objectives, and we wait until we see an opportunity to make a play. But because our DK, our main stunner, does not have any initiation item, we just go farm. Sadly, this DK did not recognize that he is our sole initiator, and he did not go blink, so we have nothing we can do for a while. That's not a flame, that's just me trying to say as openly and honestly how I feel about the game, and these are important things to think about during the game. So, once he gets a blink, we'll make plays. If not, we do some random split push shenanigans. We're gonna get bottom tower for this at least. That worked out kind of decently. You just give him a regen rune? Yikes. So our Clinks overall is pretty farmed. Storm now has a bottled regen rune. We're just checking DK's blink timing. So they've had to pop Exo again, which is pretty good. They were originally going to get that tower without using Exo.
The middle tower is done for. Pay full attention now.
So they're probably going to Roche pretty soon. There's no reason to go to losing fights like this. That was a bad timing on my shield. So I was only willing to fight because we had no Ursa in the equation. But you can see that we're pretty much just going to stare at them until he gets a blink on DK. That's our plan, just to stare at them. But we're going to keep dodging fights as best we can. I only wanted to force a fight because Ursa was farming bottom. I didn't feel like we could really do anything about it. And the best thing you can do when you can't do anything about a guy farming is to force the enemy team to fight you. So honestly, the enemy team's making a pretty big mistake by not forcing Roshan, because they are way stronger than us. And with Ursa, they're trying to force tier 2 towers instead of Roche. We're just going to let them have it, because that's like a bad choice by them. And I'd much rather give up a tier 2 tower than Roshan. In some cases like this, your team will just fight anyways. And there's not much you can do about it if they do. We're gonna have a pretty strong fight timing once we get Blink and Radiance. Be careful of the opponent smoking across the map because they're all missing now. Whenever they all go missing like this, they're probably roshing. Yeah. I have to imagine they're roshing. But we can't do anything about what's happening right now. If you can't fight, you can't fight. We have a split pushing carry, and we have a mid laner that didn't buy Blink, so just don't give the opponent the fight they want. They are stronger than us. They might see me here. We can fight. I'm using voice chat because Okay, so we're going on like 2 different targets, which kind of sucks. Okay. So CM or Clinks went out of position. So we're just running. Nobody is pushing any buttons, so we're just running. I don't have a TP apparently, so I'm a noob. I'm probably gonna die here, so I might as well make them chase me as far as possible. Oh, it looks like they didn't see that I didn't have a TP. Kind of frustrating. Teammates are simply not playing the fights correctly. It is my job in fights to just simply run in. That is my job. So if my Clinks decides to like walk out of position because I'm doing my job, there's really not much you can do about it. So we're doing a little blitz, split push stuff. They're trying to kill my DK top. If Ursa finds me, sadly, I do die. All we can do is run at this storm. Can't really do much else. Can't really do much else. Have to hope this results in a fight. This is our role in the game. This guy is an abyssal. Okay, so our DK is dead. They dust him, I will shield him. Okay, that's all we can do. So we're gonna run away. We're just cutting mid-wave as we run away. Hopefully we don't get caught. They might TP on the outpost is the only issue. But this is the kind of split push shit you kind of have to do when you're losing. So we're just gonna keep moving around the map. Honestly, this might be a shard game, even though I literally don't have a point in my... seconds. Nice, got 4-stabbed. This is all we can do, is bait fights. So I said I wanted to go shard, and I know I haven't even leveled my miscoil. Generally speaking, your miscoil on core Abaddon's not that great. I do want it when I get my shard, though. But the standard build for Abaddon is to go Manta. It synergizes really well with Radiance. And also, your illusions get your Curse of Avernus passive. I should say so. So now we want to farm a little bit. We kind of like finally got a little bit of map control, so we want to use this to farm. Our DK looks like he's going to get caught. Honestly, our DK's being pretty ballsy this game. We're also not farming very efficiently. As a team, somebody should have gone Ancients. That's okay. Now our DK's TPing in front of our farming patterns. Super frustrating. We're going to let our Clinks have Ancients. We're going to go back top. So DK should have stayed top, and I should have gone mid, but DK went mid. Don't want to do anything too crazy. Do not nuke that, dude. My teammates are triggering me a little bit. If he was close to an item, I'd understand. But it is what it is. Okay. It's just one of these games. Just one of those games.
They call me the bounce off.
We're probably gonna need to die down here if we want to get this pushed out further enough. Answer to his question is I've seen at least 3 or 4 people do this build, and they were all higher MMR than me, so. Not gonna worry about his comment. That's like a comment that if you respond to in a pub, you just get baited. So we're just farming. We've almost got our Manta. It's a pretty huge power spike for us. The opponent is letting us farm, which is nice. So the Manta's gonna let us take more dangerous farm on the map, which is gonna be really nice. Seeing if they TP'd when I killed that courier. So this is why you just keep splitting. Don't give them the fight they want, make them work for their objectives. So I was gonna send Manta Illusions here, but then the Rubik just died, so. All I can do is split push pressure here. That's all I can do. DK kind of rage bot back, I would say. We're just gonna wait for them to keep showing or not. Okay, so our DK doesn't have buyback now. And this is what the split pushing does. Nice. Go split pushing. So we have an Ursa issue. For sure. We absolutely have an Ursa issue. So the item that I like to go on and bat in here is Blink. The Blink lets us instantly silence somebody, and your ultimate when you're taking damage doesn't count as damage. Like, you don't count as taking damage. So you can Blink anytime during your ultimate as long as you're not perma-stunned. Run away from Big Bad Ursa. They've not gotten the memo that that guy is scary. We're getting a tower off this, though, which is nice. We're gonna go Shard now, because the Shard actually does pretty good damage with our autos. Makes our Q apply auto attacks. So now we're kind of like a utility teamfight nuker kind of guy. And we're just gonna keep dodging Ursa. We're just still dodging Ursa, that's all we're doing. This guy is very scary. Ursa's absolutely a hero that can have like 20 kills and lose the game. So that's what we're trying to create here. Is an Ursa with 20 kills that loses the game. So at this point, the Meteor Hammer is just some mana and health regen and some stats, which really isn't that bad when you consider like using Manta a lot and abilities.
All hands to the top tower. It's under attack. I'm not ready. Your top tower is under attack.
So as long as we keep the split push pressure up, it's really hard for them to group. Yep. So as long as they're not showing here, we assume they're coming, which they're not showing, so we assume they're coming. We saw Ursa TP. So if somebody on their team were to show in base, I would absolutely go back to base and kill them, because Ursa had shown here. So see how Ursa's mid now. But we're actually going to... Yep. So I was running at CM. Just basically, whoever isn't with Ursa is not safe. And we're gonna kill this guy's courier. So I don't like to show you guys that you can only win by farming, but a lot of these games that I'm in have been like, you just can't fight the opponent. So in this case, we couldn't fight them because of a DK blink, or lack thereof. And in other games, it's going to be different reasons. Seems to be happening a lot in my educational Smurf games. So, I'm just farming a lot. That's all we can do. I mean, I'm getting huge, so... I'm gonna hold my blink in case I get gone on. I can always ult and then blink. For me, I'm thinking Roche is our main contest.
Your top tower is under attack.
So we're just dodging Ursa at all costs. That's a really nice item for me. And we killed Ursa. Hell yeah. Nice, we finally got a good jump. And I'm chasing for more. Gonna use my ulti manually so I can catch up to this guy. And finally got the fight we needed. Perfect. I kind of want to go Octarine Core, to be honest. I think my kit's already pretty strong, which means just lower the cooldowns, more mana to work with. So we're just drawing a creep wave here. We have Radiance, so it'll clear it pretty fast. So I'll be honest with you guys about this build. I haven't played a game of offlane Abat in this patch. I've just been watching it. So this is purely like experimental for me in regards to knowing whether or not it works myself. Give that to that guy. Even though it'd be nice for me. Rush up it is. So we're sending illusions at waves. He wants the axe. Honestly, I should take it, but it's fine. We are going to get rid of our meteor hammer kind of soon. So I have to be a bit careful. Our ulti's really low cooldown. We're going to like survey the fight. Now I'm more of a backliner since I don't have ult. Ulti again super soon though. I probably should be using my miscoil more. I'm honestly just not used to it. Instantly silence this guy. Okay. Ursa bot back. Looks like he's a little frustrated as well. We're gonna go Strength Blink now. Looks like they're gonna get a cleanup kill. It's kind of natural with an Ursa buyback and a Storm Spirit on their team. We're gonna try to reconnect to the fight. Clank still has Aegis. He also has a Hex. Rubik have my shield? He does. I actually thought my Stormcrafter would hit the Rubik, and it hit the freaking Golem. So, what can you do? We're gonna save for buyback, because I'm pretty strong. And, would hate to lose this game, because I don't have buyback. So, if my mid laner was less of a frontliner, then I would have gone for, like, an AC type item build. I'm also against Ursa, which makes it really difficult to, like, be hard to kill, basically. With like tankiness, it's hard to tank through Ursa. So with that in mind, I went for like a more utility dodge damage kind of build. And that's why I even have like this neutral item and stuff. Now they're kind of stuck in base. We don't have to rush it. We have 2 minutes on Aegis. This guy's slowed. We don't know where he is. Oh, found him. Nice.
They call me the grandpa.
You only live ice.
Okay, so he TP'd out. Whenever you chase heroes like Storm, it's generally just to make them TP home. You don't really need to kill them. Unless you have stuns.
I might have that. I'm not ready.
Looks like DK is copying our build here. Totally forgot I had a Meteor Hammer in regards to anything. Haven't had to use it for a while. So we gotta be a bit chill. DK's going pretty ham against Ursa DP. Let him do his thing. Just gonna chill in the back. No reason to freak out. Let our ranged damage dealer siege. So I'm basically playing according to the fact that I have a Clinks, which is like a ranged damage dealer that wants to siege. That generally means you don't want to dive. So the second I see the DK dive, and I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, I just ignore it. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that, you know? As long as I have an idea of what I'm doing, then it's easy to ignore my teammates when they do something I don't want. Okay, so we don't have buyback now. Kind of a little bit of a ballsy move, but we do have megas, so... It's funny that he's saying items that tank you up, because you shouldn't really buy items that tank you up against Ursa. Because if he hits you 10 times, you're gonna die, regardless. The only items that are really good against Ursa for tankiness, quote-unquote, are evasion items, just because it makes him not stack up Fury Swipes. So Halberd's okay. Coming to help my team, just clings to have Aegis. He does not. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to force a BKB, nothing major. A lot of the things I do, if you guys watch, when I'm a hero that doesn't have a stun, is just trying to force reactions. I'm not actually trying to do anything fancy. We're definitely going to replace our Meteor Hammer with something. Probably just a Hex, to be honest. Let's go ahead and do that. I feel like I'm insanely strong if I have a disable. I think Hex is better than Abyssal because it's instant, and it has longer cast range. And it lasts longer. I'm not trying to kill anybody who's BKB'd anyway. Just keeping the waves inside of their base. It's good to present yourself as a really survivable hero. Meaning, put yourself in front of your teammates. Haven't been doing too much item checking this game. I've definitely been trying to play my own game for the most part. I guess it's like... It just feels like some games, it doesn't really matter what items people have, other than like a specific guy in the game. Like this game I was pretty much only concerned about Ursa. And like, nothing Storm buys really affects me that much. I'm not trying to disable him, and I'm not really going to die to him. Same with Crystal Maiden and Rubik. So I kept checking Ursa because he's the hero that kills me. So if you're newer to checking for items, definitely get in the habit of checking heroes that you... Just start with the guy that you think is the scariest, basically. They're not even trying to leave base. Now they are. Right as I say that, I jinxed it. But they tried to leave base, and then they lose. Every educational Smurf game that I play on this channel is a lobby of volunteers from the BSJ community that are allowing themselves to be Smurfed on for your own educational purposes. If you guys would like to take part in these lobbies, make sure to join the Discord link below, and if you'd like a guaranteed spot, make sure you sign up at patreon.com/BSJgaming for the starters or deluxe package.